Welcome back to Speed Reels. Today I will show you a 2021 thriller movie titled Till Death. Take your seats, the movie is about to begin. Emma is unhappily married to her cold, controlling husband, Mark, who is a criminal attorney. She was having an affair with Tom, who was a worker in her husband's firm. But one night, she decided she was no longer interested in the affair with Tom and ended everything between them. Tom, however, wanted to meet with her for the last time the next day, but she told him she couldn't as it was her wedding anniversary day. The next day, which was Emma and Mark's wedding anniversary, Emma went to meet Mark in his office. When she entered his office, he wasn't inside, but she noticed a case file on his table. It was the case file on an incident that had happened to her some years back when someone attempted to rob her. She was wondering what her husband was using the file for when he entered the office. He caught her with a picture from the file and told her she would only be triggering her anxiety by looking through the file. It turned out that the police were revoking the parole of the guy that had attacked Emma. Emma and Mark then headed out of the office. While they were in the elevator, they were joined by Tom. Mark asked Tom if he had met Emma, but Tom said he didn't think so and Mark had to introduce them to each other. However, Emma reminded Tom that they had met at a Christmas party but Mark said she was wrong, which made Emma and Tom scared that he knew about their affair, but Mark then said it was a holiday party, pretending he only wanted to correct the party's name. Emma and Mark then headed to a restaurant in the evening. While in the restaurant, Mark surprised her with a necklace made of steel as a gift for their 11th wedding anniversary. She then surprised him with tickets to a Super Bowl game, but he dismissed it, saying he wasn't going because his favorite team was not playing well at the moment. Mark then helped her to place the necklace on her neck, and they soon left the restaurant. Mark left the Super Bowl tickets as a tip for the waitress, unknown to Emma. Before they headed home, Mark said he had one more surprise for Emma and told her to check her coat pocket. He had placed a blindfold there. Mark then blindfolded Emma and told her he was driving her somewhere. While on the journey, Emma was scared and uncomfortable as she was not sure what her husband could be up to. She eventually removed the blindfold and found out that they were going to a secluded lake house they used to visit early in their relationship. When they got there, she was blindfolded again, and after she had sat for some time in the dining room, she opened the blindfold. Emma discovered that Mark had set up different things to surprise her and remind her of how sweet things were when they started their relationship. It included a room where he arranged pictures they had taken and her favorite music. When she finally got to the bedroom upstairs, Mark apologized for his past behavior and they made love. The next morning, Emma woke up and found herself handcuffed to Mark. As she questioned him about why she was handcuffed to him, he shot himself in the head, splashing his blood all over Emma's face. Emma was shocked and she tried to get the handcuffs off her hand with no success. After some time, she saw a phone in the room and tried to place a call, but it was dead. She also tried to use the gun Mark had used to kill himself to blow off the cuffs, but there were no bullets left in the gun and she threw it under the bed. She dragged Mark's body to the wardrobe, where she saw her wedding gown. She discovered a locked safe behind the gown and wondered what could be there. She, however, didn't find any clothes she could wear. She placed Mark's body on her wedding gown so that it would be easy for her to move his body around and wore his shirt. She then dragged him downstairs, with her tumbling down the stairs with his body. She wanted to use her phone to call for help, but she found that Mark had drowned the phone in the flower vase and it had damaged the phone. She searched the kitchen for sharp objects but found none, as Mark had cleared everything, so she wouldn't be able to get rid of the cuffs. She eventually found the SUV key in the trash and dragged Mark's body to the garage. After she had successfully carried Mark's body into the SUV, she started the vehicle. Almost immediately, the SUV stopped working, as Mark had made sure that he emptied the SUV of all the gas inside. The radio then played a taunting message from Mark, revealing that he knew of her affair. He said he was about to be arrested and put away for a long time, and he couldn't watch her live happily with Tom while he rotted in jail. Emma dragged the body back inside the house and washed Mark's blood from her face. She then noticed the steel necklace Mark had given her the previous night and discovered that it couldn't be removed despite her best efforts. She dragged the body to the basement and discovered that Mark had removed all the tools she could have used too. She went into the room where Mark had arranged pictures from the early days of their relationship and found out that Mark had added pictures from her robbery attack case file, including the one of the guy that attacked her. She found a tape and played it. It was an audio recording of when Mark, who was just a lawyer to her then, was questioning her about the attempted robbery attack. The robber had stabbed her at the back with a knife, and she had, in return, injured the attacker's eye with the key in her hand. Hearing the tape brought back bad memories, so she destroyed the tape player and the picture of the person who had attacked her. Soon, she heard the movement of a car outside the house, and not long after, someone knocked on the house door. The person then tried to open the door, but Emma rushed to lock it. It turned out that it was Tom who had arrived at the lake house. She was surprised and asked him what he had come to do. Tom then said that Emma had sent him messages telling him to come, but Emma told him that she hadn't sent him any messages and that it must have been Mark. Tom saw that Mark was dead and Emma explained what had happened to him. Tom then claimed that Mark must have killed himself because he was facing disbarment for illegal activities. Emma asked Tom to call the police, but Tom said they had to form a story as Emma had cleaned up the only evidence that Mark had killed himself, which was his blood that splashed on her face. She, however, forced him to call the police, explaining to him that Mark had not sent him a message because he wanted Tom to come rescue her and that something dangerous was probably going to happen soon. However, as Tom wanted to call the police, he realized that he had left it in his car to charge. Just as he was about to go and unplug his phone inside the car, they saw a truck approaching the house in the distance. They became scared as they weren't sure who the person could be. Tom then told Emma to lock the house door and not open it if it wasn't him, and he went outside to speak with one of the men from the truck who came to the house, named Jimmy. Jimmy told Tom that Mark had hired them and that they were there to fix the plumbing. Tom told him that they had to come back and tried to persuade him by paying him the money he was supposed to be given if he had worked, but Jimmy refused to leave. However, Jimmy's brother, named Bobby, got out of the truck and stabbed Tom to death. Jimmy was sorry that Bobby had stabbed Tom, as he was a soft guy. He was scared that Tom might have alerted the police and told Bobby that they should leave, but Bobby told him nothing was going to happen. Bobby was the guy who had attacked Emma and had just gotten out of prison after serving 10 years for attempting to rob Emma. Mark was also the lawyer who had put Bobby away. Bobby then told Jimmy that they needed to find Emma as Emma had already hidden behind a wall. He told Jimmy to shout whenever he saw Emma, and he headed up the stairs to look for her. Emma managed to evade the men and made it to the boat shed along with Mark's body. However, Jimmy had traced Mark's blood and followed her to the shed. Emma used an anchor to cut herself free from Mark's corpse and hid in the boat just as Jimmy entered the shed. Jimmy was frightened by Mark's body that he saw, and he rushed out to call Bobby. But before Bobby entered, Emma had changed her hiding place. Emma then overheard them, revealing that Mark had hired them and had promised them diamonds, and that they must find the diamonds they were promised. When Jimmy heard that the dead body was the man that hired them, he wanted to leave, but Bobby convinced him that they must get the diamonds first and Emma was the only person left that could help them. Jimmy pointed out that Emma might have been miles away, but Bobby saw her bloody footprints on the ice and told Jimmy she couldn't have gone far on ice without shoes. They then left the shed and went back into the house to look for Emma. As the men searched the house, Emma found a can filled with gas in the boat shed. However, the men wanted to try their luck to open the safe, but Jimmy discovered it could not be forcefully opened and needed a combination code and fingerprint to open it. Bobby then told Jimmy to go and drag Mark's body from the boat shed while he looked for Emma to give them the combination code. Meanwhile, Emma dragged the gas can to the garage and tried refueling the SUV, but Bobby came looking for her in the garage. Emma hid beside the SUV, and when Bobby saw that Emma was attempting to fill the SUV with gas, he punctured the tire with his knife. Emma then got out of the garage and into the basement through the outside door. Bobby suspected that Emma had entered the basement from the door outside and was already following her. Jimmy, while dragging Mark's body, heard footsteps from the basement and wanted to check who was there. Both brothers were about to catch Emma, but she quickly used the SUV key she had with her to turn on its alarm system to distract them. Both brothers headed to the garage, thinking it was Emma, but met no one there. They discovered that Emma had tricked them because they were close to catching her, and they went back into the house to look for Emma. Emma had entered into the house and warned Tom. She also took his car key and shoes and went to hide in the attic. Bobby suspected she was there and went there to look for her. However, Emma knocked Bobby out with a club, smashing him through the floor of the attic. Jimmy heard the noise and came, but Emma hit him with the club and locked him in a nearby room. Emma then attempted to escape in Tom's car, but Bobby caught up with her and dragged her out of the car. Emma had, however, managed to dial 911 on Tom's phone to alert the cops, but she was unable to respond as Bobby had collected the phone and broken it. Jimmy said they had to leave as the cops would trace the call, but Bobby told him they were in the middle of nowhere and it would take the cops some time to get to where they were. Emma, however, told Bobby she didn't know the combination code for the safe, but he knocked her out instead. Emma later woke up in the bedroom, once again cuffed to Mark's body as Bobby had cuffed her. She told Bobby she didn't know the combination code for the safe, but Bobby tore her shirt at the back, revealing where he had stabbed her the night he attacked her. Bobby then told Emma that Mark told him that the safe code was the date Mark proposed to her, but she didn't answer. When she refused to cooperate, Bobby threatened to torture her. Jimmy, however, was not okay with what Bobby was about to do and tried to stop him. Bobby, however, threw him on the floor, and Jimmy then saw Mark's gun, which Emma had thrown under the bed. He took the gun and pointed it at Bobby, telling him that they would collect the code from Emma without hurting her, open the safe, get the diamonds, and leave. Bobby had no choice as the gun was pointed at him, and Emma agreed to reveal the code if she was set free first. Jimmy then picked the cuffs lock and released Emma, which made her reveal the code. Bobby pressed the code and used Mark's thumbprint to open the safe, only to find a hacksaw inscribed with a clue that implied that the diamonds were in Emma's necklace. However, Emma's necklace, which Mark had gifted her the night before, had no clasp and was impossible to remove. Jimmy tried to use different tools to cut the necklace, but he could not. Bobby then realized that they would need to cut Emma's head to get the necklace that contained the diamonds, but Jimmy did not agree. Bobby took the gun from Jimmy and punched him. He then tried to shoot Emma but discovered the gun was empty. He wanted to use the hacksaw, but Jimmy tried to wrestle it away from his hands. As they struggled with each other, Bobby accidentally impaled Jimmy on a coat hook, killing him. Angry that Emma had made him kill his brother, Bobby attacked Emma, but she struggled with him and tried to run away. Bobby, however, stabbed her in the leg. She managed to fight him off and cuffed him to Mark's body. Emma ran to the SUV and started it. She wanted to drive away, but as she reversed, she realized that both Tom's car and Bobby's truck were blocking her path. She tried to use the SUV to push the cars, but the cars wouldn't move. She then drove the SUV forward, hitting Bobby with the car, but then crashed into the boat shed with the ice beneath the SUV's tires breaking. This got the SUV stuck in the ice and Emma was knocked out. Emma woke up quickly, left the car, and tried to run away. However, Bobby continued pursuing her and finally caught up with her. Emma and Bobby fought on the frozen lake, and he tried to stab her, but she avoided it and made him stab the ice instead, which made the ice weaker. She then managed to collect the knife from him. She stabbed Bobby in the shoulder, and the ice gave way. Mark's corpse fell into the lake, dragging Bobby with him. Bobby managed to grab Emma and pull her in as well. As they sank, Emma grabbed the knife from Bobby's shoulder and stabbed him in the eye, which made him leave her. Mark's body dragged Bobby down to his death, but Emma was able to swim up and escape to the surface. Lying atop the ice, Emma removed her wedding ring and let it roll into the lake as sirens approached from afar. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos like this.